Hey Andrew, this is Keaton Everett from ABC going over your spring break video. We're going to talk a little bit about some mechanics, what I'm seeing in the video, and some things we can do to help yourself out and get yourself in a little better position to throw. So, anyways, just take a look here at this first throw, and we'll go back here to the start and just kind of start from the ground up and talk a little bit about certain things that we need to do, certain things we're doing right, and kind of go from there. So first off, from the setup here, all right, you're treating this as a wind-up, all right, since you're stepping to the side. At your age, you want to start getting in the habit of, in a wind-up, to start with your shoulders square to the plate, square to the hitter. So you just want to start, with your 2 feet back here over the rubber, facing the catcher. All right, instead of that, this is basically the stretch position, and I'll talk a little bit about why we don't want to start a wind up from here. So just get in the habit of switching up your wind up positions. So you'll see why. All right, pitching mechanics and basically all of athletics is based on posture. It's based on balance. And then especially with pitching mechanics is consistency. All right, so to be consistent with our mechanics, excuse me, is to limit our movements. We want to be moving, especially with our upper body, as little as we can to make everything consistent, stay on line, to stay balanced. So what we're going to basically watch is when you do step out back here to the side, all right, if we're watching from the front, all right, see how you go back on that heel, is your head has gone from, we'll mark it here, all right, your head is basically gone from this spot, and you're now shifting it back, a good 2 feet or so. All right, so that movement, we need to get rid of that. All right, so even if you were to start your windup from this position, we would never want to see this foot come off the ground, because that just means you're moving your upper body, your head, all the way to the side, and then as you start your delivery, you're going to come back. So that all that excess movement just creates inconsistencies, and you need to get rid of that. So from the windup position, you start facing the hitter, and you just take a small step, either a little bit back here, a little bit to the side, but you want to keep that head right over your back leg and not move it around as much as you can. All right, so just limit that motion, limit all that movement, and that gets you a little more consistent. All right, so that's just a big reason of why we don't want to start our wind-up from this position. Okay, so after that, all right, as we're bringing that leg up, okay, nice big leg kick, you're getting everything in a good position. All right, but one of the things that we're doing is we're letting this left foot kick out early, which is causing our hips to open up. All right, one of the biggest power generators are in our hips. All right, we want our hips to be doing all the work. We want the lower body to be doing all the work, and not the and it's not in the quadriceps or the upper body. So one of the things I'd like to see you do here is drive these hips farther down the mound. All right, so we'll kind of watch what your head's doing as you're heading down the mound. So as you can see, your head, your body hasn't really started going forward, and you already got this foot starting to pop open, and this knee's locked out, and basically everything's open in these hips. All right, what I'd like to see in this position is that this foot and knee stay back a little bit longer, and we just want to take these hips farther down the mound. All right, and I tell the kids, we want to lead with the hips. So we want these hips to start going down the mound. So as you're starting to go forward, in this position, your knee's still not quite in front of your hip. You're still down here. This foot's back here. So you're just driving. You're leading with those hips, driving down the mound, instead of letting that left leg kick out. And see how you're locked right here? you know, part of athletics and being athletics, we don't want to ever have joints locked out. All right, all that's doing is your hips are open right here. All right, you're losing a lot of power, and we'll talk a little bit about torque next, but you just can't get yourself in this position. So your leg and your upper body just flying out early. So as you can see, watch this left shoulder is going to start turning, and now we've landed right here, and your front side's already open. You can see this foot pointed almost towards, you know, the first base dugout. So we're just over rotating. All right, at this foot strike right here, all right, you got your spine angles out a little bit in front. All right, you actually have a good back leg. Everything's, you know, this back leg, this back hips are in a great position right here, but it's just your front side that's flying open early. And what we like to see in this position is to keep these hips the same. All right, these are great, but we would want our spine perpendicular to the flat ground. All right, we don't want it to be perpendicular with the mound, so we're just staying back a little bit. And then our upper body's in this previous position that we saw, and those shoulders haven't turned yet. So we'd want to kind of recreate, you know, this position almost with your upper body, except both feet are on the ground, we're landed, and that'll get us that torque where we want that right hip going towards the home plate before that upper body's turning. All right, another thing with popping that shoulder open is you're creating this angle right here with the ball that's a little bit extreme. All right, we usually don't want to see that much of an angle in that arm, because all that does, if you watch what your elbow is going to be doing, is your elbow is going to be leading through your delivery, and it's going to get out in front. And see how this elbow's, you know, leading everything. It's pushing out in front of your head. All right, and that just kind of creates a little bit of extra strain on that elbow, and can lead to some injury farther down the road. So we want to see, you know, when we get this, you know, obviously a little bit less angle, but when we get this glove out over that front foot a little bit more and keep this front side closed, is that elbow's going to be able to stay back a little bit, and then you're releasing the ball. You know, you're starting to rotate forward with that elbow, you know, back around that ear a little bit more, so you're not just kind of pushing the ball out there, and that'll help you with some health issues. All right, you do drive through, have a great follow through. All right, we see a lot of kids, you know, finish, you know, right in this position. Don't ever let that back leg kick over. So you're doing good on that. You know, you're using that back leg. We just need to make sure you're staying closed a little bit longer, and just slowing down this left side, keeping it closed as long as we can, and that should get those angles a little bit better, get you in a little bit better position. So just the biggest thing we want to think about again is driving more with our hips. All right, just think about taking that back pocket towards that catcher, driving that hip bone towards the catcher, and don't think about using, you know, opening up this left foot. Don't ever think about the foot or the knee. Just drive those hips down, and your body's automatically going to open everything up. All right, and then again, just staying back at foot strike, keeping that left shoulder closed, and that'll help you out a great deal. So, anyways, man, hope you had a great time at camp. Hope you learned a lot, had a great time, and we look forward to seeing you again with ABC.